I'm glad to be able to be in Liberia, to be in the ISOC Liberia chapter. I've been involved with the Internet Society for many years. Was on the leadership of a Washington D.C. chapter, and then I've also worked with a lot of other people in the ISOC chapter before, and I am working also with the ISOC Liberia chapter on my other hat, working within ICANN at large with the ISOC Liberia, who is an ALS for Afralo, and so both of us are working together for a while. I'm here to talk about the topic he was giving me was the internet and social development. Hope to talk about is sort of ICT for development. Yeah, you guys screwed something up here. Otherwise,
just the 2 arrows there next to the percentage. The 2 expansion arrows.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thanks, sorry.
You can use the page down.
I'm just going to use the finger. Okay, so ICT. So we want to talk about the ICT for development, and ICT has an essential role to play in poverty reduction and provides many powerful tools to achieve these goals and objectives. Some of the activities, it works with critical health services, and we saw that during the Ebola response when ICT was a big benefit to helping spread the awareness, also about collecting the data. Educational services, working with Liberia is working to set up e-learning centers and e-education, e-health services, promoting civic participation. We're looking at different ways of how we can engage the citizens to interact and bring services to the people, to the government. We're looking to implement an e-government strategy, and then that will looking about how we can bring better benefits and services to the public, and how government can streamline, become more efficient, more effective. And we can foster innovation and entrepreneurship. There's a startup business center here, housed at the University of Liberia, that's run by William Dennis, and he's working with a lot of young entrepreneurs who want to start business up in any field, maybe not technology, but all using technology to help spread their business. So there's a lot of ways of fostering innovation and entrepreneurship, but there's been a lot of talk about how ICT spurs economic development. There's often cited a patient that was originally from a World Bank report from a couple years ago that talks about the correlation between ICT, between GDP and growth, and basically that every 10% increase in internet penetration lead to economic growth of expansion of between 1% and 2%. So there's a lot of way that Liberia can go, but to get these economic growth, what you need is complementary investments in policies, in working in education, and streamlining education, transforming education sector, participation, healthcare. But we need basically what we need an ICT infrastructure, and we're working closely with Commissioner Weeks and the ministry in trying to implement an ICT backbone. And we're working, we're making some good projects. There was earlier this week, there was a USAID had come in and they held a round table with all parts of different parts of government working on the ICT. So we're working very hard to try to implement in the original project to get a backbone put out into the entire country. so that everyone can take advantage of it. So the vision for Liberia is one where it could be society, one that can transform its social and intellectual environments to its own end. So it brings about new ways for communities and enterprises to create learn. What these new ways need is the focus on digital literacy. And then Darren talked about some project that they're working on to enhance digital literacy. We need a smart network society, close communication, innovation, interaction. We want one that promotes transparent government, accountable government, centered knowledge-based industries, smart cities. When you go and drive in the street, the lights don't seem to be timed correctly. They're like timed. It's the same time period at night when there's not traffic. So we need to transform all parts of the environment. We need from the entire government to one that works well and concept to make sure that everything gets used. Smart cities is a new. They want to put tracks or sensors on roads so that they can determine light traffic or heavy traffic and change the lights accordingly. So if there's very large traffic, the lights going one way will be short and the other way will be long so that a lot of traffic can go. And that is something that as you move forward and as the backbone gets built, great. And a smart city is one where all citizens are empowered and can interact and collaborate. So what a lot of different services are going to be planned on, whether it's registration for birth, passports, driver's license, all that, health certificates, everything is going to be working so that it'll be easier for citizens to get services that the government provides. But as you say, it's smart. We can only get there once we have ubiquitous connectivity and we have we have a digital infrastructure and that we have widespread data literacy and social media and tools for capturing data and sharing information with others. But ICT can only be this engine of growth, as they mentioned, when it's available, accessible, and affordable for everyone. And that is something that they're working on, especially with the government is working in deploying the backbone and getting prices that are going to be affordable to people and getting backbone cheaper prices. And so that way, everyone can take advantage in this. But it also means that on digital literacy, people need to understand, the youth need to be educated on how the tools work, how education is being changed, how to solve problems, how to be creative, how to think outside the box. And then that will help in sort of reorienting and making the leap. And one of the other ways of getting involved in that is joining either the Internet Society, getting involved in other groups, besides ISOC Liberia, besides it being part of the Internet Society. They're also part of ICANN and at large, and there's a whole lot of different other projects that are doing there that can get involved with, especially increasing engagement, getting more people involved, getting more people active. In ISOC, there's a whole range of different opportunities, grant programs that ISOC Liberia can do, and Darren was mentioning some of them, starting a program on working with other groups to share resources, and build something else. So there's a lot more ways to move forward. Digital literacy is critical to making effective access in data and technologies. The ministries, the commissions, the agencies, they need to, the old way of doing things through a silo operation is no longer effective. They need to transform themselves and become more accountable, more open, and more responsive to citizen needs. And think about how the best do we help the citizens. Citizens are now just like customers. So it's like if you want a customer service from the hotel thinks about how I can help you, or how I can bring out your favorite course, or how I can help you. The government is also going to be thinking to serve you. What is the best way of bringing services or interacting with citizens? So working to make everyone's making a leap. And just like technology, people work on technology, understand government leaders are also looking to understand ICT and how they can make the change and how they could move and grow into the new network economy. So realizing these transformational potential of ICT revolution requires alignment of ICT investments. And that is what Commissioner Weeks has been doing and working and getting a new policies out there, open access, affordability policies. They're going to be rolling out new universal service pilot projects of making sure that in the rural communities, the access is affordable and available. A whole new other ways of how we can get internet access out to the public. So that's what they're working on there. But as you say, investment in fiber cable capacity will go a long way, but we need others. We want to make sure that the people get educated and that they can then take advantage of all our these benefits. So working on trying to work on skills development, trying to make them more accountable, working on trying to increase incentive for good governance, primarily in the public sector, but also in private sector as well. They have a role to play. But leadership is key. The ability to accelerate development process and gain global competitiveness really depends on the extent that leaders can develop, use, and sell ICT in one form or another. So leadership, institutions, and human capabilities are critical factors that determine how countries transform their visions of information societies into concrete strategies that enable them to become competitive, innovative, and knowledge-based economies. But as I mentioned before, realizing this potential requires redesigning or building new networks of institutions, transforming regulatory frameworks and governance, new skills and competencies, and even changes to ideas and culture. The benefits I mentioned are not automatic. They don't just come. You need to work on in expanding the human capital. You need to figure out how we can retrain our workforce, how we can make sure that our youth, our government employees, our government ministers, everyone can be knowledgeable and have the knowledge and understanding to make the leap, and to see this transformation people. Now, leaders cannot operate effectively without appropriate governance and institutional structures. Communication of the ICT and a strategy that will become strategies closely related to leadership. it's a tool leaders use to raise awareness about the potential of ICT to achieve what Liberia's sustainable development goals. We did, as you know, the UN was following it was a series of different goals, Millennium Development Goals, that were until this year. And just this year, the UN adopted some new goals called Sustainable Development Goals. And there's 15 different goals here, and every one of them is integrated with has ICT integrated in them. So that showing the importance of ICT in the into the growth of the country. Now, Mr. Kamara talked about the IGF. The IGF is the Internet Governance Forum. It's a forum designed to share best practices. This happens once a year, but national forums. There's in West Africa, there's the West African IGF. There's also an African IGF. Different other groups are always able to host national IGFs, and that way to get more people involved in training and learning about internet governance, what they can do on policies, how they can do other things. It's a tool to help raise awareness. And with the, we just completed the World Summit and Information Society. There was a 10-year review period. Just successfully completed the outcome document with all the countries. I know Liberia was active in that too. And that extended the mandate of the IGF for another 10 years. This year, the IGF worked on it was the first year they did an intersectional project. So they started a project last year during the off periods to work on what is connecting the next billion. How are we gonna work on connecting the next billion? And there's a report out on the IGF website, and they had a lot of different contributions from people throughout Africa. Some of the ISOC chapters also in Africa contributed. I know ISOC Uganda, different ISOC chapters contributed to that. So there's all different tools. ISOC has a lot of abilities to help you grow, and tools and policy documents to help you work in this field. So that is sort of a short presentation on this. And so any comments, suggestions? My slide, I'm here as a USA Gems consultant, but I also have many different hats. Firm works with our governments on telecom policy, but I also have, besides ISOC, working on ICANN issues. And in ICANN, we are looking seriously at accessibility and affordability, and making sure that through our different working groups that we can engage with people. And anyone who's in ISOC Liberia is a member of that ISOC ILS, and if they want to find out more about ICANN, please talk to me. I'd be happy to talk about that, especially of pilots that we're doing on captioning, which we're starting out, to reach out to people not only who are accessible challenges, like either deaf or blind or sight impairment, but also people with limited bandwidth, and help them get engaged. Help them try to work it, because the internet is really for everyone, and we want to make sure that everyone has the same chances, no matter if you don't have limited bandwidth or language is not English, whatever it is, we can help you work on it. So that's the presentation. So